Okay, gentlemen, it is time for us to get into the draft and see what we have for this elimination match. It is going to be Archon taking on EHOME, and one of these two teams is going to be spectator for the rest of the event. And it's just going to be watching from the sidelines. It's going to be the first team to get knocked out of the Shanghai Major, which is, you know, you're going to share that last place with 4 other teams, so it's not that bad. But to be the first team, I feel like that's like an extra slap in the face. So, well, you wouldn't want to wish that to anybody. EHOME, go for the Nature's Prophet ban first with Darkseer removed by Archon.
No Earth Spirit ban, no Lone Druid ban, so...
But the Darkseer ban is also weird. Like,
they're protecting Jayo's lane. That's the plan. You don't want to give him a tough matchup in lane.
So what heroes do you ban? Well, okay, so they're going to ban Lone Druid. Archon have first pick. So does EHOME want to give away Earth Spirit? They're not even going to risk it, but I don't know that Archon would have gone for it. So yeah, what's the Jayo hero that Darkseer is particularly good against?
Spectre.
It's annoying for...
It feels like Spectre's the main one that comes to mind.
There's
Jug does pretty well against them.
Jug, Gyro, like the 2 main carries that do well against the Darkseer in the safe lane.
AM.
Yeah, AM also does well, so...
Bloodseeker.
I mean, most of the carries.
Alright, let's pick some Bloodseeker here,
Most
guys.
of the carries do really well against Darkseer nowadays, but we see an Enchantress opening once more because this hero is just.
Yeah, I think this is one of Archon's strongest openings. It also denies it to EHOME.
Yeah.
How often do they actually run him jungle compared to the offlane? Usually it's offlane, right?
Usually offlane for
They don't
Archon.
really do much jungle.
It is?
Probably like
No,
80,
they run.
80%
Moo plays it a lot.
Yeah,
Moo plays
80%
it mostly.
Moo, 90% Moo, and then...
But they do have the option of jungling it,
Yeah.
so even if it's unlikely, it keeps the draft flexible early.
Yeah. Still, the Batrider we mentioned, I think, going to be probably picked up in the first stage. Either EHOME want to maybe grab it for the offlane, or Archon could try and secure it for the mid. It's good against the Enchantress, but EHOME go a different direction.
Oh, that's weird.
Old Chicken, very comfortable on OD. He had a few games during the group stage. Had pretty stable showing.
Yeah, OD is not exactly that great against Enchantress early on. I mean, I understand you're great after you get a lot of items, because you can nuke him down, but in the early stages of the game, I don't think OD is that great versus Enchantress, especially an offlane Enchantress that has a lot of levels and items to begin with.
Yep.
More likely to be mid, I hope.
Yes. Old Chicken. Oh, I've seen actually CT1's played it once or twice. Yeah, they both play it. That's right.
I think Old Chicken plays it a little bit better though. Yeah.
Reserve time.
Flexible, I guess, which is what you kind of want against a team like Archon when you're worried about them going for something a bit out there.
So with this opening, Batrider doesn't feel all that appealing. You've got the Tide to counter initiate, the OD Banish, which is decent against him. So I think maybe taking that into consideration here, Archon not going to go for it. So they grab the Witch Doctor, which does... I mean, it still technically could be support Enchantress, but it feels like quite likely it will be the offlaner here. So I kind of like that from EHOME, because if they didn't want Batrider for their strategy, they don't actually have to block pick it, but they still have solutions, and it's a good way to deal with Archon's likely follow-up this draft.
How is Archon going to deal with EHOME with their massive teamfight potential, their turtle potential? And if you're thinking that Archon is a team that wants to speed up the game and go high ground early,
I think Archon right now with Enchantress and Witch Doctor, you have 2 heroes that excel at the laning phase, and your enemy has 2 spells that would essentially make their teamfight so strong. I think your primary focus is to just win your lanes and try to slow the enemy down so that they can't really teamfight. I think winning the lanes should be Team Archon's main priority right now, since they have the Enchantress. Like, they have to find a way that you can use the Enchantress spell, because if Enchantress doesn't get a good laning phase, I feel like the hero is just basically useless after that. Like, you need to make sure that Enchantress gets a good lane.
And it's less about dealing with what EHOME are doing and just playing your own strategy, and doing what you do best.
Yep.
So I think that's much more suited to what Archon's going to be about with the early game laning presence.
they have been running Undying Enchantress on the offlane. Is there a chance we'll see that? Is that a lane-winning hero?
That's a good way to secure the Enchantress lane. You want her to have a partner that can tank, can make space for her. And the main thing is also securing your camps, because we've seen some games where Enchantress was useless in the offlane because the camps were blocked, so she has to travel back all the way to her own forest to actually grab a creep.
So what do you make of this? They banned Bounty Hunter, which you don't see too many teams do when it's
Jungle,
offlane Enchantress.
yeah,
so it
might
suggests jungle.
Might suggest a jungle, but I think it still depends on.
It's a hero that can pressure the lanes and be very annoying early
Yeah, but
on.
it still depends on the draft though. I think if you feel like the enemy is drafting weak supports and the carry can't really deal with an offlane Enchantress, obviously having an offlane Enchantress would get a lot done. So there's that.
We've seen this draft before from EHOME, the Ursa, OD, and
Yeah, I mean, this
put
is
pieces
what
together.
This is what I think a few of you were suggesting is, yeah, they could go for something a little bit cheesier like a Brood, but EHOME probably thinking they're the stronger team, just doing very safe, stable. These are all heroes that have worked for them. They have team fight, they have decent lanes, they have great late game.
It does reveal everything though. They picked up all their cores here.
They're on Dire, so they can use the Roshan. I mean, it's not so good to sometimes reveal your all your cores, but
Ursa's good this game. He's
but at
great
the same
against
time,
Ashe.
you guys mentioned Team Archon might be the team that would want to use Ursa in this sort of situation, this bo1. So maybe EHOME are considering the fact that we don't want to get cheesed by that, and we just want to make sure we secure Ursa and we are on Dire side. They probably have a very clear plan that we want Dire and we just want something that can abuse the Roshan over and over again.
So what do you guys think they get to deal with the Ursa at this point? They don't have their mid laner yet.
I mean, Viper?
Viper matches up well against Ursa.
Do they play Viper? Does he play Viper, Ben?
Monkeys?
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you think Viper is good this game though?
I don't think Viper's that great. I mean, he's okay versus OD, but aside from like even then, he's like not that great versus OD.
So would you prefer something else like for him? Like what else does he play?
He plays a good Invoker.
He plays Bat Rider.
Invoker's still good, I think.
Oh, is this his hero or this is the offlaner?
Are they gonna copy what EG did? Have run Beastmaster support?
That's dirty.
It's risky running the Beastmaster jungle because of the Ursa. Like if you don't do anything, the Ursa just takes Roche.
Beastmaster's a little odd this game. The Ursa, once it gets an Ags, is great against him. You've got the OD Banish to counter the Roar. You also have the Snowball save to deal with it.
There's Prison and Snowball. And
It feels like they have
so
it doesn't feel like they're picking for the Roar because
it's
there's
the
so many
Hawk.
ways to deal
I
with
think
it.
it's the
Division,
Hawk.
yeah.
Because
They could have taken Night Stalker though, which
I mean,
we've seen
it's
success from as well.
easier to rely on the Hawk because, like, for Night Stalker, maybe you need your Aghanim's, but
Yeah.
for Beastmaster, in case the Roshan happens early, you have the Hawk to scout it out. So maybe that was the idea behind the Beastmaster pick this game.
Do you like the Slark pick, Ben?
It's alright versus Ursa. Although I think he can just get bursted down super easily. He's like so heavily farm dependent and making sure he has a good lane. And versus Tidehunter, I don't think it's going to be that easy.
It does explain the Darkseer ban, although they went for pretty early. It's a fairly weak laning carry against most matchups.
I mean, he might have a difficult time against Tide, but I think with the Witch Doctor, it's sort of alright. Because if you have a good support and Tide is alone, you should still be able to free farm pretty easily against Tide. Because at the end of the day, if your Witch Doctor gets like 1 point, maybe 2 points in Maledict early, and Kraken Shell doesn't remove Maledict, so you're always very worried of the kill potential that the Witch Doctor plus Stark have, then you can't really play that aggressive as a Tide unless the Tusk is down there with you.
EHOME, last pick Phoenix, so
This
their end draft, very heavy.
This
team
is
fight.
one of Karka's absolute favorite heroes on the support position. So they might run dual lanes, so with this pick, maybe. Tide +1. Not sure it will be the Phoenix or the Tusk. Because generally against Slug, you don't really want to leave an offlaner down alone and just let the Slug free farm. You want to contest it if possible.
Archon seems really weak against 5-man, and EHOME is super heavy 5-man.
Yeah, but from their opening, they don't really want to 5-man. I want to say like most picks when a team opens with Enchantress, it's more you want to focus on winning your lane and you're not focusing so much on team fight.
And speaking of winning lanes,
Mid Beastmaster, off lane Brood.
Is it mid?
Oh, is it mid Brood?
Monkeys plays mid Brood.
oh, Mid-Brood, yeah.
Yeah.
So are they going to send the Tide mid? That's the question for EHOME.
Ah, I guess you could try and send like a support plus Ursa bottom or support plus. I think the OD almost needs the safe lane. If you're not sending a mid, that is. So.
Okay, I want to hear it, guys. Starting at the far corner, LD. Who is gonna take this game? This elimination game.
EHOME is going to take it, and if I'm wrong, then Archon wins the lanes heavily. If they don't win the lanes, absolutely no chance.
Okay. What about you, Gods?
I agree. I think I like EHOME. They've got the team fight. They've just gone for a more stable draft. The Brood could be a little bit problematic, but I think ultimately EHOME will be fine.
And on the right corner, we're going to go for the NA team that's going to win their lanes.
Are you not giving Ben option? Nope.
He stole my line.
Okay. Well, I guess it is time to get into it. The first elimination game of the Shanghai Major. Archon taking on Team EHOME with the dynamic duo of OD Pixel and Draskell.
That's dynamic indeed. Thank you very much, Shiva. We're here with Best of One. It is Archon versus EHOME. I'm only Pixel. I'm here with Draskell. The game is underway, and Draskell, we were talking about the drafts a lot, and as they said, it's all about winning the lanes between these two. Now, are Archon going to do it with the mid brood?
Well, we're gonna have to find out. I think Winter brought up a pretty good point. It's kind of like a mind game. Where are we setting the brood? Where are we setting the tide? Because if, for whatever reason, EHOME expect it to be a mid brood, then they just obviously send the tide wherever that hero is going to be.
Yes.
And I think it's really hard in the early game for brood to move around too much because you have to worry about web cooldown. So once she places nets or webs, it's kind of like you need to stay there for at least a little while. So I think that EHOME probably have the advantage in that regard, and it's kind of like LD was saying, if they don't win their lanes, their team is actually fairly greedy. A lot of their heroes are squishy. They're going up against an OD. The Slark needs a lot of farm. The Slark is also not really a good laner by any stretch. So I think it's a little bit problematic, but it can be done. The Enchantress is going to be relied on heavily in this early game, no doubt.
And I mean, talking about the Slark, we're looking at the side of EHOME. In terms of catch potential for the Slark, I mean, you're pretty much just looking at the Tusk with the Snowball stun, maybe the Tidehunter's Ravage, but other than that, the Slark, he's got the potential to be incredibly slippery this match if he has a decent start.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just the way that the hero was picked that kind of makes me skeptical of it. I think that Slark is actually great in a lot of lineups. It's just a matter of, again, the kind of greed that they're going for by picking a hero in this situation. EHOME, going for a 5-man smoke.
Indeed, talking about the Slark, he's about to receive a full 5-man to the face here. Jo in the jungle, he's going to walk straight into the smoke. Lanham's going to spot him out. And the pings are coming through, and we'll pounce away here. Jo keeping it safe, but they actually got the snowball onto him. And here we go, straight in with the stun onto Jo. Oh, it doesn't quite catch him with a stun. He still hasn't got a pounce for 12 seconds. They'll start to chase him. The Furious Wipes are stacking up here. Jo, he continues to run. In swoops Kaka here on the big bird, and it looks like Jo will be the first death here on the side of Archon. EHOME picking themselves up the first blood. Old 11 doing it with the classic start off. 2 GG branches now on the tide.
Now that was the patented use my escape before the enemy team initiates on me death. That was like completely just mechanical mistake. There's no way you ever leap there unless the Tusk uses a spell. Because one of the only ways that you die in that situation is if you get sharded. But if you get sharded, you might have to
hello. 3-man bouncy cask in the river, but they just go straight up to the high ground there with the snowball. Gush again onto Whitebeard. Looking for this one. He's got level 1 enchant. That's not going to save him. He's going to go down. And Old 11 proving this is how you play Tide. You roam around the map. You start with 2 GG branches and you level Gush.
This is a total disaster right now already for Archon, and it's not even 1 minute in. Like, the first creep wave is clashing right now, and as we expected, we're going to see the Tide versus Brood matchup, which the Brood you can win this matchup for sure as Brood, but it's hard. And the thing is, you're not really going to stop Old 11 from getting any farm in the lane anyway. The only thing they have going for you is the fact that he's skilled level 1 Gush. That is pretty much your only advantage in this lane as Brood.
We'll see how Monkey's going to do after Tide to get that very, very nice time in the bottle thanks to his build and thanks to actually the kick health. And indeed, we're going in on to Moo here. EHOME closing the gap. Looks like they won't be able to dive that one. He's going to be A-OK for the time being. So that's your top lane, that's your mid lane. What's going on down on the bottom lane? Can we expect a little bit of a difference in luck here for Archon? Is Jared going to be alright on the Slark here?
Well, it's again, the Slark's not necessarily a super strong laner, but if you see what EHOME are doing, they're actually not prioritizing this lane at all. They're just kind of leaving Old Chicken down here on an off-lane OD, and I think this is more just a reaction to the way that the overall lane shaped up. As soon as they saw the last pick Brood, they knew they kind of had to change things up, because obviously you can't send OD in that lane, and I think they're prioritizing giving Ursa the safe lane because they want to make sure they can secure Roshan. So CTY needs the safe lane to get to a point where he can at least pick up some lifesteal. Maybe he eventually rotates to the jungle, and they start to give Old Chicken a little bit more farm priority. But even in this lane, like, they're not really stopping him from farming. He's just kind of chilling here, you know? This is a really bad sign that this hero is not really being zoned or anything.
Talking about Roshan, I'm looking at the lineup, I'm seeing, you know, because you've got this mid-tide, you're going to be hitting level 6 at the same time, and maybe not even before the Ursa Natural. Hold that thought, because straight in on the bottom lane, they are going to look for the kill here. Archon, they jump forward. I think it's going to be a defensive Astral here on the OD, but it looks like Old Chicken could still go down here, and he will. They will find themselves a kill there. Nice smoke up and rotation there from the Enchantress with the Dark Troll Summoner. We'll get Archon a kill on the board.
Yeah, it's very necessary that they at least pressure some lane. Like, at the very least, if they can kill the offlane tower, try to move their supports around a little bit, maybe look towards trying to help Brood win mid a little bit harder, because not having Kraken Shot level 3 in this matchup can be a pretty big deal. It just means that if you do rotate in and they realize the fact that he's skilled Gush, it can actually be abused in this matchup.
CSY is 11 for 3 up against the Brood's 11 for 4, so it's incredibly close at the moment in terms of the farm for both of the mid laners. But yeah, as I said, when it's coming to taking Roshan with the lineup that EHOME have, you look at Archon's lineup, at that point where, you know, with the S, they're going to be able to take it really early on. Archon, they don't really have the lineup to stop them, do they?
Well, their team fight's not what I would call good, which is why LD was emphasizing the fact that the laning phase from Archon needs to be more or less flawless. Now, you can contest the Roshan by just sending in like Enchantress Creeps, getting vision of it with the Hawk, but in terms of taking a 5 versus 5, because this Tide is getting a lot of farm priority, like Old 11's going to be 6 at like 5 minutes, you know, 6 minutes into the game, somewhere around there. So, with that being said, fighting against a Ravage when you have Brood on your team, who's not notorious for being the best in terms of contributing to team fights, it could be tough.
Certainly just like that, thanks to Kinnis with the Broodlings in the city. He's jumped one wave ahead, now he's 27 against the 13. I mean, Old 11, he's starting to have a grand old time here in the lane. It's getting a little bit harder for Monkeys to just kind of stay toe-to-toe with the Tide.
And this is kind of why I was thinking that they might like try to play a mind game and not just straight up send the Brood mid, but I suppose if you're Archon, you really don't have that much of a choice. Like, I don't think I wanted to put Beastmaster in mid in this situation. Although I will say that it probably would have fared better. Like, the Brood in the off lane, and then Beastmaster mid might have been better in terms of the lanes.
Bottom lane, Old Chicken on the OD, 12 for 1, 11 for 3 on the Slug. So, I mean, did you expect this to kind of go as evenly as it has, or is there a surprise that Old Chicken's maybe getting as much as he is?
Well, in the beginning, they weren't really zoning him at all, as we're going to see. Oh, man, he doesn't even get the rune. That is... oh, God. He bought a bottle, had no mana, and then he gets shard blocked like that? That's a really rough thing to happen. That was really nice shards. But, yeah, as far as the bottom lane goes, this is a game where you're looking at Archon and you say to yourself, okay, we need to win the lanes. The Tide has 32 CS. Clearly, some of those are going to be Spiderling.
Straight in onto Whitebeard and a couple of swipes there for the big bad bear. CTY will take down the Enchantress. No mercy there for Archon on the top lane.
Yeah, this is not going well.
Alright, CTY 27 for 18 here. It's yeah, it's got the potential to not be very pretty, this one, unless Archon are able to do something to slow down the Ursa. I mean, how do they deal with an Ursa that's got this much farm in the first 5 minutes of the game?
The Beastmaster, I think, was supposed to be kind of the answer for that, because when they picked Brood, clearly they had in mind to send it mid, and there was already a Tide on EHOME, so I don't know what necessarily the game plan was from Archon, like if they were trying to force some weird lanes out of EHOME that might have given them some kind of advantage, but I'm just not seeing it. Like, even bottom lane, Jail's just getting harassed right now by Old Chicken. He just doesn't care. And Kaka can just sit off to the side, and if they ever rotate down, he obviously has an easy escape. Even if he gets disabled, you can Astral, and then he can just swoop away no matter what. So the off-lane OD is farming more than your safe lane Slark. The Ursa and the Tide have respectively like the 2 highest CS in the game. And EHOME has Ursa, so they can just kill Roche whenever they want.
And think about this matchup as well on the bottom. Jail's got to be careful, because in terms of having mana to pounce and shadow dance, he has to be very careful how much intel that OD steals. Because if he gets to the point where he's only got one of them, and as you said, the Phoenix, Kaka hiding in the sideline, ready to jump, has the potential to take him down. He's going to get a bit of backup now, Jo. We're going to see a rotation from Archon. There's some of them coming in behind him. We'll see if they can find any way to get close to EHOME. But EHOME just controlling the laning crew a little bit really nicely, keeping it under their tower and ensuring that the OD continues to farm as safely as he is. And we can see on the CS at the moment, all top 3, all on the side of EHOME. Trying to go in now onto Old Chicken. They're throwing out the cast. Jo jumping for the Maledict is doing a lot here to Old Chicken, and they should be able to find the OD. He's trying to turn around, get as much onto Jo as he can, but he's going to lose his life. Kaka getting forced back. So Archon, they hang around, they wait for the jump, and it pays off. Good things are happening on the safe lane.
Yeah, getting those kills are really big, because otherwise the Enchantress pick doesn't really do much. So it's really nice that Whitebeard's rotation has managed to secure something here. CTY is unbeaten on Ursa. Alright. Literally 100% win rate.
Average KDA of 8-1-11. I mean, that's pretty terrifying. And that's games against teams that are Archon as well.
Yeah.
This is...
I mean, that's some heavy flame, but yes, you are correct. Just saying. But as far as the pace of the game, like, look at the CS, good god, like the net worth too. It's like the Brood has 27 creep kills at 7 minutes, the Slark has 24. Even with 2 deaths, the OD still has more CS than the safe lane Slark. What is their fallback mechanism? Like, there's no team fight. You can maybe go for a smoke gank, but you certainly can't gank the Tide. He bought Treads. Like, he's going Treads mech. He's going to be super tanky, right? The best lane to kill is really bottom, and killing the offlane tower doesn't really give you that much either.
Screw your Hawk, Old 11 says. More gold here for the big beast. Yeah, this is... I think one of the One of the most farmed tides I've seen 7 minutes into a game for a long while. This is quite crazy, and they want to do something about it, Archon. They're coming in, they get some good bounces here with the cast. Lanham jumped in as well, but the Malady doing so much here. The heal, we want to get some of it, and Old Lemon turns around, gets the Ravage onto 3, looking for Whitebeard, the snowball forward, they'll take down Enchantress, and Old Lemon's just continuing to fight. He doesn't care, finally gets nuked down there by Monkeys Forever, and that's a big kill for the side of Archon to pick up. And I think if it ends like that, they'll be fine with that one. Taking the 1-for-1 trade, but getting that high priority kill on that Tide, who was having an absolute ball of a game.
That was about as good as you could have wanted it to go if you're Archon. Like Ravage used, kill high priority hero. Yeah, that's keep doing that. If you can continually like 4-man or 5-man mid without getting punished in any way, then that's going to be what you have to do. But I mean, CTY already going into Roshan here. There's no vision here from Archon either, so we're going to see Monkeys actually grab himself a rune top. But there is a Hawk, so they will know.
I certainly will know. The question is if they could do anything about it. And looking at where EHOME are, I don't think you'd want to run into this one. The rest of the side are there ready to back up CTY if Archon do decide to try and do something around the pit. They are heading over here themselves. Monkeys Forever maybe positioning himself for a bit of a cheeky play. We'll see if he can get away with it, but no. But it's already down to EHOME. They picked it up and the spider just gets destroyed in the pit. CTY with the Roshan kill, with the Aegis under his belt, and with the dead spider as well.
I think obviously stuff like that looks bad when it happens, but I do think that Monkeys had to go for that play.
He had to go for it.
Because here's two things that happened, right? They ganked mid, and Ravage was used, so that was technically the best opportunity I think that Archon would have had to win that fight. It's bottom lane, Old Chicken, gonna get jumped here.
Okay, here we go again, trying for it. He just turns around. He's not gonna quite get the kill onto the Witch Doctor, and with Jo coming in, if they can take down OD, but the heal from Kaka just making this an impossible one, it seems, and he just turns around, takes down the Slark. Whitebeard is there with the micro, trying to control the OD. He's bringing Old Chicken incredibly low here. Can he quite find the kill? One more touch with it. Now he pops the stick charges. Old Chicken's out of there. We can see Whitebeard desperately wanting to dive that one with the heal, but it's not enough. And even the Centaur getting taken down there by Kaka's big beam of doom. Now losing the Slark there, and unfortunately Archon desperately trying for the kill that time in the safe lane, and it doesn't pay off this time around.
EHOME are just pressuring on so many fronts simultaneously. Like they're pushing in mid tower, they're getting kills on bottom lane. The only thing that Archon have going for them right now is the fact that Moo's pushing top. And I do think that team fighting again is going to be really rough for them. So I think this is the right play for Moo, not to try to go for the direct engagement, but take something away from EHOME and not put yourself in a situation where they're just going to keep walking away with more, because now they have the Aegis. Like CTY is going to have Blink soon. He's only like 500 away.
It's just 10 minutes in. This is some really terrifying stuff coming out from the lineup of EHOME. I guess at this point, if you're Archon, you're just hoping that mistakes are going to be made and you're going to be there to capitalize on them. We've got Archon smoked up, Fluff and Moo, ready to try and get themselves in position for something mid. I still don't have that level 6 on the Witch Doctor though. He's halfway through 5. And therefore will be a nice addition to these pickoffs that they are looking for. They're going to continue to move. The question is if they can find anything. Looks like bottom lane is going to be the call. The tier 1, still pretty much at full health here. It's going to be a hard kill. They do have the Primal Roar to try and set something up. Kaka has got a Supernova. Can they burst him down before he gets it off? Here we go. Got the Primal Roar. They jump in. Have they got the burst? Yes, they have. They'll take down the Phoenix before he can get the ults out. And a nice little bit of movement there from Archon.
Now, the rotations that they've been doing have been working every single time they go bottom. This seems to be the lane that has the most success so far for Archon, and as such, I think they're going to try to go for the tower. Unfortunately, like Roshan's already dead, so this tower doesn't mean that much. Looks like EHOME kind of want to try to fight this.
And they do indeed. Snowball to lead in straight on to Moon. Lanham's got the control. Old 11, Old Chicken and CTY there for the party, and Beastmaster just stands still but accepts his fate. He's down, and they're leaving at the tower denying. That is going to be a Blink Dagger now done here for CTY.
Good God, man.
I think they're saying that. Did he buy it and then sell it?
Yeah,
he's looking for alternate builds. We could see. They're just gonna pick it up for the side shop. I was hoping we were gonna see some CTY style, skill build, item build that's gonna be a bit funky. And whoa, Kaka. He uses the dust. He spots Monkeys Forever out straight away. Old 11 is there. They do have a Ravage if he wants to use it, but by the looks of it, with the Sunray, they're not going to need to. They'll pop the Supernova to make sure he goes down, and they want to kill the babies as well. They'll get it. More money there for this Phoenix. And again, EHOME there with the kill. 8 for 4 at the moment. CS-wise, this Tide Under. It's got over 100 CS at the moment, and involvement there and more of the kills. Ursa, CTY just starting to move around the map and just dismember the heroes on the side of Archon.
So with the Ursa that's snowballing this hard against heroes like Enchantress and Witch Doctor and things like that, he's gonna more or less disintegrate any hero that he touches. And the fact of the matter is, Archon have a whopping 2 disables. So they have Cast from Witch Doctor and they have Roar. If neither of those things are up, there's not even like a reason to buy BKB. So we're gonna see a Roar here.
It's gonna be a nice one if they can find it. Monkey's Forever coming in as well, but the snowball there to bring old chicken out. Here's Jo jumping forward. They'll look for the OD kill. They will get it. They'll take down OD Lanham, pops down his Igloo, TP's out, gives them a wave. Lanham is out of there. The cast not coming out in time, unfortunately, to stop the TP. But again, this seems to be the lucky spot here for Archon. They keep finding big kills down on the bottom lane.
Well, a lot of their vision is prioritized around bottom. Like, they have a Rune Ward, they have the ward that's around Roshan, so they can see a lot of rotations coming in from EHOME so long as they're not smoked. So I think it's just a lot easier for them to prioritize this lane when, you know, you have vision around it. It's just like common sense Dota, I suppose. But still, every single time that Archon get a kill, it doesn't really feel like they're doing anything in addition to it. Like, we talk often about, okay, your kill's good, but does it get you a tower? Does it get you Roshan? Any sort of objective? And most of the time so far, I feel like the answer has been no. And even though the Slark potentially on paper could carry during the late game, you're up against an OD, you're up against, I mean, eventually double Ravage and Ursa. And your only backup is like a Brood who, again, not really the greatest in team fights, and you still only have Treads, and it's 14 minutes in.
I mean, talking about the Slark, a lot of pressure here on Jerry this game. How does he have to build? Are we going to see the Blink, the Shadow Blade, or do you need to go for something like an SMY so you can just man fight, have a little bit of a presence here at this point of the game?
Honestly, I think going things like Shadow Blade against a team like EHOME, who have insane 5-man potential, it's kind of counterintuitive. So a lot of the time you would want to use it as an initiation tool, but you just can't. Old 11's going to spot out Fluff here. They're just going to go on him.
And indeed, Fluff trying to fight up for his life. It's not going to be enough. And top lane, just trying to make the most use of the fact that they know they're down at Jo. He's got to run now. That TP's coming through, old 11's in the neighborhood. Level 11 now, and this tied into 2.7k gold on top of the treads, the mech. I mean, old 11, yeah, I guess there's a lot of things he can go for here. Well, the bloodbath is going to continue in mid lane as CTY's trying to jump forward. Won't be able to quite find a kill though as the ball slow. Causing some issues for him. He has got Kaka hanging around on the Phoenix. In fact, they want to try and go in. Lanham picking up CTY here in the snowball. CTY starting to run this off there. The Astral keeping him alive. The boar desperately trying to find him, but they'll kill the boar here. And it looks like he will be able to blink away. Kaka gets the dust out onto Monkeys Forever. And they try and find and chase down this Brood kill. Old Chicken coming in with the Orb Snaps. The cask holding back the OD, and the bounces are favorable, but it doesn't matter. The Sunray from Kaka. Too much for the Spider. It's another kill here for EHOME, and we saw just how close Archon were there to killing CTY, and they just couldn't do it because of the OD there with his Astral.
God, that's gotta feel so bad. You feel like you finally are gonna get like a high priority kill. You know, CTY hasn't even died yet once this game, and he gets away in that fashion. It's making it very difficult for Archon to get a foothold in the game when they can't really get anything big in conjunction with their kills. Like, I say that, they have all the tier 1s down. Like, that's definitely something that you can look to and think maybe, okay, we could try to contest Roche.
Lanham, I'm going to pop down the Shard Seal, snowball across, straight up with the punch onto the Witch Doctor, bam! Old Chicken with the right clicks. Old 11's moving in for more. He does have a Ravage if he wants to use it. It looks like, the Shards won't quite catch Whitebeard. He will get himself away. Archon only losing the Witch Doctor here. That could be worse. But EHOME at the moment just really asserting their dominance this game, and it's not looking pretty for Archon.
It's like you said, the only real thing that Archon can do is try to contest Roshan, maybe get a lucky smoke or two, try to change the pace of the game that way. But as it stands right now, EHOME have the team fight advantage, they have the late game advantage, they have basically every advantage except for split push, which their team isn't necessarily amazing at going high ground, so Archon could definitely buy time that way, like put Slark in another lane, put Moo in another lane, or the Brood, try to split up EHOME a little bit. But as it stands right now, it's 17 minutes in, and EHOME are just like, we don't care if we kill the tower fast, you just can't kill us.
Let's see what Archon's answer is going to be to this. Moo actually is going to be the one drawing them away, but CTY blinks forward the ball slow. I might just save Moo for the time being, but he's got a big bad bird chasing him as well. Look for the TP out, and yeah, he's going to make it. He's out of there. Nothing to hold him in place. Back in the mid lane. The fight continues. The cast thrown out here by Fluff. Whitebeard throwing out the impetus. Monkeys Forever trying to get himself a bit of a spider army going. At the tier 3 already at half health. EHOME still standing strong. They've got all the ultimates available. Jo desperately trying to make something happen on the top lane. Looking to cut the way and try and get that tier 2 down. So There's a bit of a cash influx here for his team. But almost certainly going to need him to come back and do something in defense. The question is, as a Slark at this point of the game with the items that JO has, what can he offer? I'll pop out the fortification, but EHOME just stand there strong. Nothing phasing them at the moment. Everything online, and here we go. They jump straight forward onto the Beastmaster with the Walrus Punch, and there's your Ravage. They'll get the Supernova out as well. It's an absolute massacre by the looks of it. Double kill here for Old Chicken. They will lose the tide as JO is able to jump in there with the Shadow Dance. And the question is, can Archon find anything else out the back of this? No, CTY, he comes straight back in. He's onto the Enchantress. Now he's looking for the Slark as well. Old Chicken and Kako moving back in. There's a buyback here on the edge, but JO's down. It's a double kill for CTY. Slark does have buyback, but EHOME, I think they'll be ready to kill him again. And CTY, he's going to look for the edge. Whitebeard just bought back. But the heals enough to keep CTY off. Didn't have the power to fight through the untouchable. Monkeys forever, seeing if there's an opening, but they want to just try and protect this. At the least that Archon could do is force EHOME back so JO doesn't have to expend that buyback. Now, looks like the Spider's going to be enough to spook him. Monkeys forever, and off you go. Off you go, that's right, back to you half of the map. And well, they will survive. It did cost them a few buybacks, but Archon, they keep the Rex alive in the mid lane.
Yeah, the Brood ended up doing quite a bit of work there. Like, he was cutting people off as they were leaving the base, ended up securing a kill on Lanham, and making it so EHOME basically can't overstay their welcome. They know Roshan's up, so the only thing that EHOME really need to do in that situation, they already killed the tier 3, they just back, they don't lose anybody else. They can go as 5 with Ravage, which is going to be up in about a minute, and then you can just go for the Roshan and then force Archon to come to you. If Archon give that away, I think it's probably just Rax due to the fact that it's already exposed. It's very difficult to fight when you don't have a tier 3 to defend anymore, especially when, again, we talk about how EHOME has just this insane teamfight advantage. And the Slark is starting to get some farm, but he still needs more time. And the fact that he's even, it looks like he's going for BKB. I feel like this item, while he might feel like he needs it at the same time, it's going to be very hard to recover your farm if you go for BKB, and then immediately after purchasing it, you need to have like a successful team fight or like 5, because they're just that far behind.
I'm talking about the team fight, the fact that you look at old 11, he's got the Shiva's Guard now, ready for the next one. It's going to be even harder for the side of Archon to bite through the armor of this lineup, especially with the build, as you said, that Slark's gone for. Very defensive here from Jay, but
I mean, it could be Assange, but
it could be. It could be into the SMY.
I feel like he just wants to buy the BKB for the Ravage and for OD.
Oh, let's see if they can get some kind of action here. In terms of the individual hero net worth, how is Joe doing in comparison? He's still pretty far behind the two top big boys on the side of EHOME. Old 11 and CTY there, sitting at the 10k mark, and it's going to be a smoke up from EHOME. And let's see what they can catch out. Clicking into the jungle. Jo at the moment on his own down there. Looks like they were just checking out the area.
This is such
EHOME find that Roshan's going to be easy for the takings.
It's an extremely low risk play. Like, EHOME are very aware of the situation they're in. They like walk up the hill maybe just to see if somebody was in the area, like if the smoke broke, maybe they could find somebody. But as soon as they walk up a bit, they're like, okay, we've placed some wards. We don't really need to go for a kill.
Oh, Lanham straight in with the snowball onto Monkey's forever. Well, the stuns don't quite catch him. Monkey's a little bit too speedy here under the cover of the web.
What is he saving for, by the way? Monkeys has like 3,500 gold. Is it just one of those situations where you're like, alright, I don't actually know what to buy because the game is super hard?
Jo, go for the smart TP out. Shadow Dance TP, he's got the recipe for the BKB. CTY unable to catch that one. And that's what we're talking about. One of the pluses of the Slark here. Unless they all jump on him as a 5-man, most of the time he's going to be able to get himself out of there.
Yeah, it's really tough for them to kill Slark. But the problem with the hero in this game is, I think in this particular match, the Slark can't even go for like the 1v5, you know what I mean? Like, he has too many heroes to go through, and plus his laning phase is also weak, and Archon's overall draft is very greedy in the sense that their lanes are just... Like, did any of their lanes win, actually? Like, their safe lane lost, their middle lane lost, and off lane definitely, yeah, they lost all 3 lanes for sure.
Looks like they might lose the Rax now on top of this one. EHOME hammering away. Archon, what's the answer? They've got everyone up. It looks like they just gotta let it go. There's just nothing that they can do here to stop the onslaught of EHOME. And they'll take the Rax and they'll be out. And as you said, EHOME just playing a very clean game at this point. Jo, he's running straight in. He wants to try and fight here. Archon's coming through as well, but they've already lost Witch Doctor. CTY now unstoppable on the Ursa. A courier on a bit of a suicide mission there, and well, he's gonna live. I think the uphill mischarge kept him alive then. It's a good job because that had the BKB on. CTY now jumps straight in onto the edge. It's a double kill here for the bear. And that is your Aghanims now picked up from CTY. Jo just kind of rushing around on the back, not quite sure what to do here at this point. Oh, sorry, it was the Brewmother's BKB on the courier that was just delivered. And Monkeys Forever with that BKB, is it going to save him against the bear? Oh, the invis certainly is. Yeah, I'm not quite in range there. So help him out with the detection, Jo. Still looking to see if he can get himself back in. Old 11, hope the Shivas catches onto the Beastmaster, and he will. He'll get the slow onto Moo. Moo getting the ball out. CTY just jumps straight in. They'll turn around with the roar. Jo skunk his message of steals, and this could be a big step forward from the high ground. Supernova's pop on. CTY's getting low. CTY will go down. He's got the Aegis though here. Monkeys Forever, BKB's up. He just take down the Supernova. This could be Archon turning it around in some shape or form, but CTY, Old Chicken, they're still ready to fight. They're on the sidelines. Jo, he's got the Shadow Dance, but he's running. Pounces away. He's terrified of this Ursa. There is a level 3 here. 3 Necro on the Beastmaster. So Archon, with a really nice death ward there, they're able to burn through the Aegis, and they don't allow the Phoenix Kaka to get off his full supernova, and they get the kill.
I mean, EHOME are just overstaying their welcome right now. Look at there's tier 2s in top and bottom lane. Like, why are EHOME even here in the first place? I think they're just kind of going a little bit too ham for the moment. They'll realize their mistake, and as we say that, they're just rotating towards bottom to make sure they take the safest route to victory. But stuff like that, I think they just, in their position, feel super confident, as well they should, because they're kind of dominating this game right now. And I don't think you're going to be seeing anything silly like that again.
So down at the bottom. That is the BKB done for Jo. And they want to make use of it straight away. Archon immediately with a smoke up from the base.
This is a good timing. They have fresh BKB on the on Slark and 9-second BKB on Brood. But they are technically fighting into Ravage and Sanity's Eclipse, so even though some of the cores might be safe, the supports are going to have a real rough time.
Still 30 seconds on Supernova. So it's going to be something if Archon can catch EHOME off guard. CTY, obviously now without the Aegis, if Moo can find the Roar, and he will. Roar strands CTY, and they'll move straight out onto the Earth. A Death Force drop, no mercy there for the bear. And that's a big kill for Archon to find, and the exact one that they want to try and find off the back lines. And off the back of that, with the Necro 3 on Moo's Beastmaster, they can start to get a push down the mid lane. I mean, it's 50 seconds without the Ursa. I don't know if they can force out a buyback, but they can certainly get a tier 2 at least.
Yeah, that was just a little bit greedy from CTY. He was using his ulti to farm. Otherwise, he would have been able to enrage and then probably just walk that off and buy time for the rest of his teammates to get there and help out. But it's still momentum that Archon are gaining into this game.
Old Chicken. We send this one up here with the Astral Lanham there as well to trap Moo. A snowball straight onto the Beastmaster. Jo with the BKB though, he wants to fight, so does Monkeys Forever. They're focusing Lanham here, but the next pop, he's out of there. All over the Shivas, turns around, gosh, there, straight to the face of the edge. Lanham will, no, the Astral, keep him alive. There's your Ravage for Old 11. Monkey's going to take it down. Odie is just too strong. Double kill for CTY. Everyone apart from Jo dying on Archon. And they keep Lanham alive there with that mech and with the Astral just in time to save the Tusk. Just teasing him in front of Archon, and they just can't get a single kill.
Well, it looked really good there for a second or two, and then Ravage happened, and OD. The game was hard, but EHOME still just holding a very, very strong presence in this game against Archon. I mean, it's kind of rough because you watch the game and you're looking at the situation, it really feels helpless for Archon because they just don't have the team composition to go up against EHOME. Like, they have to play perfect Dota, and like all their smokes have to work, and they have to be able to take Roshan away from EHOME, and it's a very tall order.
Oh, they have got the Death Ward here, but they've got to be aware that Kaka's got that Supernova ready and waiting if they want to try and make a jump. Jo. Alright, coming out to catch on to Old Chicken, who's already blinked to safety, and EHOME, they are sticking together. EHOME very much comfortable if Archon want to try and force a fight. CTY panning the ground, asserting his dominance. That's a nice cast. He's in a battle between a few of them. Sunray coming out over Kaka. Old 11 moves in now with the Shiva's guard here. Bluff drops out the Maledict to catch out the tide, but Old Chicken with the Astral against keeping the tide alive. The Death Ward from Bluff doing a lot. Now the Supernova comes out. Archon, they're deciding, can we go for it? Can we not? They're looking for it, but it doesn't matter. Odie's just there pounding away. CTY is one on the Ursa. They're all dead on Archon. EHOME now 27-9 at 27 minutes in. There'll be a buyback from the Witch Doctor. Fluff getting himself back in there, but it's only the Beastmaster who's going to be able to join him. And this could be the end of what was nothing less than a nightmare here for Archon and
Yeah, it just all goes back to the draft. EHOME They had some pretty unconventional lanes, but that just was necessity due to the fact that there was a last pick Brood. Archon ended up putting him mid. I kind of see where they were coming from. They thought if they could win the lanes really hard, play to their strengths, as God was saying on the panel, that they might be able to take the game. But this draft just felt like there was no real opportunity. Like their win condition was ridiculously hard. It's like win all 3 of our lanes, which they won none of them. And then hopefully we can snowball that into a Tidehunter lineup with Ursa, who has insane Roche potential and OD late game. Like,
now they want to fight. They really want to try and do something here, Archon, but they just can't. GG is called. EHOME will take the victory here with quite some style, and Archon, unfortunately, today was not their day.
yeah, it is unfortunate, and obviously good on Archon for getting this far, but EHOME just seemed to be a little bit too strong here.
Yes, it was, I mean, as they were talking about in the panel, it was very unlucky for Archon to meet EHOME in the first round of the low bracket best of 1. That's not something that you want to wish on any team. They tried their best, Archon, but the mid-tie, the CTY Ursa, yeah, good luck beating that, and an off-lane OD that was getting pretty much perfect farm in the first few minutes of the game. Old Chicken as well having an absolute one. But EHOME will be your victors there in the best of 1 versus